So welcome everyone. I hope everyone's having a great day. My name is Kelly Stutz. I'm one of the SOE Hub advisors. I typically advise chemical and biological engineering. You'll hear a lot of different phrases for chemical engineers. Some just call chemical engineers. Some will say chemies more frequently. In certain templates, you'll see CHEG. That's just a course code that we have, but most of the time you'll see chemi. So we kind of differ between all of them. So if you hear me say those words, that's what that means. But chemical engineers, this webinar is for you. And with me today is my colleague, Jen. Go ahead, Jen.
Thanks, Kelly. Okay, so I'm here to get us up and running. This is the rest of our team. There's 5 of us in the School of Engineering Hub, and you'll be finding out in August who your actual hub advisor is. But in the meantime, feel free to reach out to us and ask any of your questions at any time. We're here to support you. And then here's our little intro. This is the rest of the things that we'll be talking about during this webinar today. We'll move on to some major templates, talk about their role in making your schedules. We'll talk about how to get you registered for fall 2024. We'll talk about the transfer course process, which is always a big ticket item for us because lots of times students are bringing in courses from other colleges or AP or IB. And then, of course, important dates for your registration and here in the hub. So what is the hub? What is the SOE hub? We are experienced professional advisors. You will also have different advisors during your time at RPI, like faculty advisors, but for this first year, we are your advisors as freshmen. We are here and available for you for the first 2 semesters, and then off you go. This fall, we'll send off the rising sophomores, and they'll go to their next faculty advisors. And again, faculty advisors for the second year and beyond. Little asterisk there that some majors, typically the big majors in Maine or ECSE, also have secondary advisors to help with beyond faculty advisement. And then where we are in the JEC, which is the Johnson Engineering Center. We're on the 3rd floor. So if you come in at the end of the hallway, you'll walk past a little mini museum in honor of aeronautical and aerospace engineering. You'll pass the dean's office. And then when you get to the end of the hallway, the blue room is where we are. But just to keep things a little tricky and fun, you have to pass through the Ansel Lounge to get to the School of Engineering Advising Hub. You always know that you're in the right spot when you see that big, huge window there with all our blue lighting. That is the hub. That's where you meet with your advisors if you come to meet in person. And then here is just an overview of all the engineering majors that we have here at RPI. Knowing that you are super excited to be chemical engineers, it's just good to know what else is available, knowing that students can make changes if they need to or want to. Aeronautical aerospace engineering is the newest major. We have always had aerospace within the confines of aeronautical engineering. And then you'll see that you guys as chemical engineers are about the 5th one down. But this is listed all over the School of Engineering website too, if you ever need to look and see what other type of engineering that we have available.
Great. Thank you, Jen.
Sure thing.
So next we'll talk about some resources, our website, and how to create your fall schedule. So as a chemical engineer, it's fairly straightforward. You pretty much want to follow the template all the way through. It's pretty structured. Some majors are more flexible than others. Chemical engineering template is not that template. You're pretty much following what's listed here. If you have any AP credit, we are sending out a survey so that you can submit what you expect to come in. The scores should come out hopefully next week, and that's when we can get more clarity with your schedule. But for now, fill in that first semester template just to create your schedule, and we kind of go from there. We use something called Quack. So What I'm going to do is hop out of here for a second, pull over. Jen, can you see the new screen that I just brought up?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So first you're going to Google SOE Hub. We're going to do that first link there. And then we're going to click class of 28. Great. This may be where you found the presentation today. Awesome, be familiar. We do update these drop-in times. So definitely take a look back if there's other times available. And then here's our general first questions I want you to be familiar with. But the main one here is, how do I create a schedule for my fall semester? There's a few different resources here. You have your course catalog, and then we have our 2020 major PDF templates. So by clicking that, it'll be a box folder. We'll scroll down to Chegg, like I said, Chemi or Chegg, vice versa. They mean the same thing. And this is the template that you'll be looking for. These are the graduation requirements, but we're really going to focus on this first semester. So the first thing we're going to do is open up Quax, which is also on our website here. I'm going to make this smaller. Pull up Quax. And then make sure you're in fall 2024. First, I'm going to make sure I don't have anything selected so far. I'm going to go back to Quax. So in your first semester, you'll see that you'll have a lot of math and science. And you do have a Chemi course, which is great. It's a 1 credit, 1 hour seminar with the head of the department. And you get to learn a lot more about chemical engineering. And you get to learn maybe, oh, maybe this isn't what I want to do. We can pivot to something else. But it's kind of a nice intro classes to get you started. So you'll notice that you have chemistry with advanced lab. Advanced lab is the preferred course for chemical engineers. It involves 2 additional labs than the traditional chemistry. If for some reason this class doesn't work with your schedule, regular chemistry is okay. However, we'll work with the department to make sure that you are able to complete those advanced labs. So we go in, we click chemistry, and then chemistry with advanced lab and toggle all. We'll go back to the home screen for Quax and then also take a look over back at our template. So we have intro to chemical engineering, so that'll be under the Chemi prefix, and that's 1010 and select. Go back, Calc 1, toggle all, and then Physics 1. Now with physics, something that's not listed on the template that is a requirement for the fall. If you take Physics 1 in the fall, you also have to take physics mentoring for first year students. This is an additional section with smaller students working with the teaching assistant or the professor for additional time in that subject matter. So we want to make sure that you're really confident in physics and you feel good about the exams and moving forward. You're going to be taking Physics 2, you're going to be taking fundamentals of chemical engineering, and all of these this information will be very valuable moving forward as an engineer. Then the last thing is an inquiry course. This is a RPI requirement, part of your HAAS, or Humanities, Arts, and Social Sciences. You'll hear us say HAAS a lot, but especially we want to get a HAAS inquiry class. So just as an example, I'm going to click INQR on the side here. Scroll down, here's all the courses that you can choose from for the fall. Ideally, you want to take an inquiry course in the fall. They have less options in the spring, so this is your opportunity to maybe get your comm-intensive complete and your HAAS inquiry, or if you don't want to do a comm-intensive, that's fine. You can do a traditional HAAS inquiry class, that's okay. So just for this example, I'm going to select Econ and then select all the sections. Now, here's a schedule that you came up with. You'll see that the Intro to Chemi course is Wednesday at 11. That won't change at all, but you can tab through, see all the other sections that you have. So it looks like that physics mentoring, there's a lot of different sections that's going to get moved around a lot. But here's just an example on how to create that Quax schedule. So once you find a schedule that you like, and we confirm that there are seats in the class, you'll use the CRNs at the bottom here. So these are a code, our identifier for that course section that you are registering for. Once you have these, you'll copy and paste those into your registration screen, press submit. Hopefully everything goes well and there's no errors, and then you're good to go for spring. You want 17 credits for the fall, excuse me, 17 credits for the fall. So if we go back to the presentation, this was kind of a quick overview, but this is also posted on our website, like a play-by-play, step-by-step and can help you with that registration process. So back to the presentation mode. All right, so we just went through this. We use Quacks as a guide, and then we log into SIS. If you have not done so yet, definitely log into SIS. I'm sure you can Google RPI, SIS. Some people call it SIS, some people call it SIS. That's where you'll use your RPI credentials to log in. You'll probably have to Duo as well with your phone. Then you need to know your time ticket. When are you registering? So you will select student menu and then check registration status. That will tell you the day and time that you are registering. So hopefully it says July 10th because that is the day you'll register. Let's say it's July 10th at 9 a.m. You will create a reminder for that. If you're in a different time zone, put that in perspective as well. And then something that you can do now, so it's one less hold or something that prevents you from registering later on, is the financial responsibility agreement. Go ahead and click that. That's right on this menu as well. Then you'll click the button at the bottom saying, yes, I agree to the terms. Next, you'll go to class search. This is another way to build your schedule. Quacks just kind of gives you a visual, so it's kind of nice. But this is another way to do it. You'll click fall 2024, search by course code. So like if we're doing that inquiry course, you'll search under Haas inquiry and then press submit. SR means seats remaining, meaning that there are seats available for that class. So definitely keep an eye on that because more students register or the later the day goes, less seats are available. So it's definitely preferred and highly recommended to register at your time ticket so you have the most options possible to register for the fall. Also something to note is there's attributes on the right-hand side. It's a communication intensive and a Haas inquiry, which is great. You can take a comm intensive later. You don't have to take it in the fall, but sometimes courses count as both, and that's nice. It does not double dip. You will have to take a total of a certain amount of credits, but it's still nice to get the requirements complete. All right. So something else that might pop up is a course might be major restricted, meaning it's restricted to certain majors. We have that for our engineering coursework. So if a school of science student is trying to register for a chemistry course, they're most likely not going to be able to because they'll say restricted for engineering students or specifically chemical engineering students. So then science, tech, and society is an inquiry 1100. Some of those could be restricted. So it's kind of cut off here, but it'll say at the bottom if it's restricted for certain majors. If that's the case, then find another section. If all seats are full, we might have to find another class. Econ typically has a lot of seats remaining, so that's something that I would recommend you check out. Right. So once we have those CRN numbers, so like I said, Quacks will probably have those the easiest or most accessible. You will submit those in the boxes at the bottom. Something to note is some of these courses are co-requisites, meaning that you have to register for them at the same time. So that physics course with the physics mentoring, those must be submitted at the same time. So you'll submit or you'll paste the physics 1100 course here, and then you'll submit the mentoring section here and then press submit. Hopefully everything goes well, no issues. Or if it says there's a time conflict or there's an error, this is key. If you are having issues registering, please tell us what type of error you're having because that will help us help you. We want to make sure you have the most options possible and the least amount of errors. So definitely use your resources or ask. It might take us a minute to get back depending on the time of day, but we will try our best to get back to you. But there could be a time conflict, there could be a major restriction. Those are probably the most popular, or physics could be missing that physics mentoring co-requisite, and you'll know to submit those both at the same time. So kind of a quick CRN info there. Once you have 17 credits on your schedule, then you can go back to student menu and click your view weekly schedule. That will give you a weekly view of the courses that you are registering for. Okay. A quick overview about transfer credit. We did have a webinar last week, so it's something I recommend reviewing. But these are the scores that we will accept. I know AP credits aren't out yet if you took them in your senior year. So it's gonna be a quick turnaround. On Monday, I believe scores should be released to all of our students. And if you did receive a 4 or 5, then you will submit a survey that we are emailing out, ideally today. I believe we are. So it's an unofficial survey. It just helps us help you. So if we know that you earned a score of a 4 or 5 on Calc, AB or BC, then we know to provide you an override for something higher. But you have to tell us what course you need with that higher level. As a chemical engineer, say you did take the BC exam and you get Calc 1 and Calc 2 and you felt good about that exam, you can move on to Intro to Differential Equations. That is the only other higher level math course that chemies take. You'll notice that some other majors take multivariable and matrix algebra. Chemies do not take that. So that's something that you could take in the fall if their scores come in. Same thing with IB and the Cambridge A level. They might come out a little bit later. So for now, register for what you can. But if there's a specific course you earned a higher grade on, that's when you can submit that survey and just let us know. The key here is to submit the scores and send them to RPI. If they're not in our system, then it looks like you never took it. So we want to make sure you get that in, which leads me to another slide about deadlines, but we also want to mention dual enrollment and transfer summer credit. So dual enrollment is something that you took in high school. You'll need your counselor's signature if you know this course was taken in addition to your overall high school credits, then it can count. So C- or better, it was above your high school credit requirement, then submit that. Even if it's a free elective or you don't think it'll count towards something in your degree, it can always be utilized in some way. Or if you don't want to use it at all, it's always nice to have it on your account. There is a benefit if you have credit. So no matter what, just submit it if you can. I know getting in contact with some of your high schools could be difficult. So especially over the summer, try your best because that can really help us when we're advising you. And traditional transfer summer credit, there is a transfer credit approval form. That information is also listed on our website in terms of the process. You have to do a few approvals first and submit the official transcript to RPI. C- or better as well. And once that's listed on your transcript, that will go towards your degree requirements, hopefully, or a free elective of some way. All right. So deadline. So end of your first year is technically the deadline. If you are halfway through the year and you're like, oh, I did have dual enrollment credit, I was supposed to do something about that. That's okay. You still have until May in your first year to submit those. If there are courses such as, your math science, like calc, physics, chemistry, we probably want those in right away. We want to make sure you have all the options possible. Even biology, that's something I should have noted earlier. In your second semester, you have the option to take Intro to Bio or Cell Bio. Typically, students will take Intro to Bio, but if you have an interest in Cell Bio, I encourage you to register for that in the fall. But that's something we can talk to on an individual basis if that's something you're interested in. But yeah, deadline, get the credits in as soon as you can only help you down the line. All right, so at this point, you should have had a time ticket. So definitely look into SIS student menu, and then you'll check registration status. Right now, we're in that consultation period. We are advising you any questions that you have. The Chemie template is pretty straightforward. Unless you have some AP credit, you can reach out to me and we can go over some other options. First day of class is August 28th. And then the add deadline and the drop deadline are both September 13th. So the last day to add a class or essentially make any changes to your schedule is September 13th. So if you're going through that first week and you're going through Calc 1, you have maybe AP credit for Calc 1, and you're like, I don't know if I want to stick in this class, let us know, and we can work with you to change your schedule to make sure that you're getting what you need. All right. So I know I went through that kind of fast. There are resources all over our website. Definitely follow us on Instagram. We will post specific dates and reminders throughout the year. Also other options for courses or industry hours, some programs that we are presenting. But overall, a lot of our FAQs are listed on this website, so that you can probably find most of them here. I think we did have a question. Jen, do you mind reading?
Yeah, there's two.
Oh, great.
All about AP credit. So the
Yeah.
first one, does AP Chem credit cover the chemistry with the advanced lab course?
Yes. So that can come in. So say you get a 4 or 5 on the AP Chem exam, that does count as the advanced chem, so that works. And you get the extra bonus of getting Chem 2, which if you notice, chemies don't take Chem 2. You go right into organic chemistry without the lab, I will point out. So Chem 1, AP credit, yes, and then Chem 2 will count as a free elective.
Yeah, it's very similar question. Does credit for AP Bio cover the bio course for that second semester?
Yes, so then you would not have to take cell bio. So that's kind of nice with chemies. You have some flexibility, but typically just goes with the major. A lot of you will come in with AP credit. So that means we'll get a little creative. Most likely, if that's the case, you would then take Physics 2 probably in the spring. There's some other options, but we'll talk about that further once we get closer to the spring registration.
That's so far it in the chat questions.
Great questions. A lot of chemies, a lot of AP credit, inquiry courses. In terms of most popular pathways and things, probably econ. I've seen a lot of chemies will minor in biochem, biophysics. So if that's something you're interested in, especially if some bio credit. So is that Doulos? Another question in the chat. He's one of our advisors. No, he's not a student. So yeah, this is the general outline for chemical and biological. Any specific questions, you can always reach out to me. But we also will host drop-in hours posted on our website. But I will wait, a little bit, see if there's any other questions. But thank you all. Let's see your AP scores. Your AP scores have to be submitted to RPI. So if you took AP in junior year and you've already submitted them to RPI, then yes, they should be there. Where that would be, and again, I wish I could show you, but sadly I'm not a student, so I can't give you the proper screen. But in SIS student menu and then select view transcript, that will show you what AP scores have been in so far. If you think there's something missing, you can submit a ticket to the registrar and inquire. Most likely the score just wasn't high enough, or it's something that we don't offer, something like that. I think I answered your question. Where to find the AP scores? So say you took them senior year, Monday is when they will be released, and that's when you will send them over to RPI. You might be able to do that earlier, just to give them a direct contact. But in terms of what the score is, I believe it's next week. And then that's when you'll also submit our unofficial survey. So we know to provide you an override, and you have to tell us exactly what class you will need an override into.
Everybody must be happy. It's quiet.
I can't see what Kim said. Oh. I knew Kim had a question. How should athletes register if there's a test block when they usually at practice? Register for now. Most likely you'll have to work with your coach to figure out a different practice time, or you'll work with a professor to do a test at a different time. But for now, register for what you can, and then if we have to make adjustments later, we can make that adjustment. Cool. All right. Well, we have WebEx open too, if any other specific questions come up. But like I said, my name's Kelly. This is Jen. We are very excited to meet you all in the fall and also help you through this registration process. But any questions, just let us know and have a great day.
Bye.